Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Tinashe Dune, and I'm a senior academic and practicing psychologist. In this video, we will be reviewing key mental health issues that are linked to major and modern-day public health concerns. Importantly, the mental health issues that I will be discussing in this video are becoming more and more common across the lifespan, including from childhood through to older age. Today, I will be reviewing 3 sets of major mental health concerns. The first is stress, depression, and anxiety. The second is obesity and diabetes. And the third are mental health concerns related to poor health. So I am sure many of you can relate to the first one, stress. And stress refers to a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. So in a study by Way Ahead, the Mental Health Association of New South Wales, 72% of Australians surveyed admitted that their stress in their lives adversely affected their physical health, while only 64% said it affected their mental health. So we can see some direct relationships between experiences of stress and mental and physical health. So stress, as most of us know it, includes being overworked, having limited or no time to rest, having limited time to exercise or take care of ourselves and our bodies, having limited time to plan our meals and to eat healthy. And of course, you can experience stress in so many other ways, including challenging interpersonal experiences, or trauma. So stress in the body is measured through increased cortisol levels, which creates changes in your brain and your behavior. What this means is that we become more attuned to stressors and negativity. And so we start to anticipate anxiety, and we start to anticipate situations that will produce stress, and then we function in a state of constantly elevated adrenaline. As a result of stress, our minds and bodies respond as though we are facing a harmful event, attack, or threat to our survival. So with constant stress, our minds and bodies start to function within one of 3 modes. And I'm sure you've heard of this before: flight, fight, or freeze. When we are constantly in these states of stress, we actually start to develop patterns of anxiety and or depression. The experiences can be occasional and normal bouts of sadness or feelings of worry when under stress, and that's fine, or they can be very serious conditions that impact every aspect of life, making it impossible to engage in your typical daily activities. So according to a study into stress and well-being run by the Australian Psychological Society in 2014, almost 2 in 5 Australians reported experiencing at least some symptoms of depression, with 13% of these Australians reporting symptoms in the severe to extremely severe range. So on top of this, more than 1/4 of Australians reported experiencing at least some anxiety symptoms, with 13% of these Australians reporting severe to extremely severe levels of anxiety. So let's take a closer look at depression and anxiety so that we better understand. Depression, or major depressive disorder, is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Depression causes feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in the activities you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease a person's ability to function at work and at home. So fortunately, it is also treatable, and this is fantastic. So getting on top of it as soon as you start to notice these persistent feelings is important. So when we think about anxiety, we're talking more than, the occasional experiences of worry. So anxiety disorders differ from normal feelings of nervousness or anxiousness and involve excessive fear or anxiety. So anxiety disorders are the most common of mental disorders, and anxiety refers to the anticipation of future concern and is more associated with muscle tension and avoidance behavior. So that flight response, or even the freeze response where you just don't know what to do. Again, treatment helps most people lead normal, productive lives. So when many of us are under significant stress or feel sad or scared, we sometimes turn to high-fat, high-sugar foods with little nutritional value to help us to feel better. However, when we experience persistent stress or chronic depression and anxiety, we may begin to rely on unhealthy foods and drinks more often than we should. And as we know, poor diet is directly linked to increased risk for obesity and diabetes. So many interventions for diabetes and obesity rightly focus on healthy eating habits and increasing physical activity. However, more and more research is indicating that obesity is often linked to mental health concerns like depression and anxiety. So for instance, in my research with aging Aboriginal women, I ran focus groups to explore their experiences of health and well-being. In one of the focus groups, a woman indicated that she had been sexually abused when she was a child. From then on, she turned to food and indicated that as she saw it, and as she gained weight, people were less attracted to her. And whenever her doctor or other health professionals would help her to try and lose the weight, she either didn't engage, never went back to engage in the treatment or with the healthcare provider. And if she did lose some weight, she gained it back and then some. And in these focus groups, she said that she felt the weight protected her from further abuse and victimization. So you can see in this example that obesity is linked to mental health and well-being. And this woman would need support from a psychologist or counselor, in addition to other allied health professionals, to support her in losing weight through sustainable, healthy eating habits, as well as physical activity. And we already know that obesity and diabetes lead to a large range of severe health issues, including amputation, blindness, cardiovascular disease, arthritis, strokes, to name a few. The list is long. However, more and more research is showing that chronic obesity is linked to declines in executive functioning and mental health outcomes. So what are executive functions? So executive functioning includes some key components. This includes our ability to plan, our ability to remember things, our attention, our ability to problem solve, our ability to reason and therefore to be able to problem solve, to understand what is said to us. Also, it includes inhibition, the ability to stop ourselves from doing things that we shouldn't do or that aren't healthy for us. This includes cognitive flexibility as well, being able to change, to adapt, to move in different directions when it comes to the way that we think and do things. We have initiation of actions, starting a plan, and then of course going through that plan and then finishing it, and monitoring of actions, knowing what we're doing, how we're doing it, being able to change towards our goals. So you can see that executive functions are a set of processes that all have to do with managing oneself and one's resources in order to achieve a goal. And there's a great body of research which indicates that the efficiency and effectiveness in executive functioning of people with chronic obesity is lower than that of their normal weight counterparts. So what does that mean? It means that children, adolescents, and adults who are obese or morbidly obese generally score lower on IQ tests, with key difficulties in planning, problem solving, and cognitive flexibility. Further, people with chronic obesity are more likely to experience depression and anxiety than their normal weight counterparts. So we can see that mental health and physical health are directly related to each other, and in more ways than you might have originally thought. And understanding and supporting mental health is therefore central to improving individual and public health outcomes. So be sure to look in the video description for other resources to support you and those you care about towards improved mental health. My name is Dr. Tinashe Dune, I'm happy to answer any of your questions, so don't hesitate to get in touch. Check out the description box for my contact details. And remember, a healthy mind is a happy mind.